What's up, y'all? It's your main man. You already know. Back at it. Movie review time. And I went to go see it, y'all. I went to go see Creed 3. I seen it over the weekend. And this is my review. This is my thoughts and opinions on the movie. As y'all know, I always love doing these things. So let's jump right into it. Overall, I will say this was good. This was really good. Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut. He really did a good job. He did a good job with this one. It reminded me, it gave a lot of Rocky 3 mixed with Rocky 5. I say that because obviously Jonathan Majors' character, who, listen, this man, let's give this man his flowers right now, because Jonathan Majors is killing everything he touches. Kang, this previous work that he's done in the past, it's just, this man is just on all cylinders right now. He's just clicking on, he's just going, and there's nothing less than I can say about this man and how incredible he is. Me and Asad was talking. He didn't see the movie yet, but I was telling him about it, and he was just like, yo, it just kind of sucks that, you know, he said it sucks that we never got Chadwick in a movie with this man. I think that you put Chadwick, him in a movie together, I think it would have been phenomenal. But going back to the premise of this is about Creed. Damien gave me a lot of Clubber Lang vibe, you know, hungry, had more of that eye, had more of that drive, that determination to be number one. Donnie Adonis, he it wasn't that he was out of it, like how Rocky and Rocky 3 was kind of just like he hit that peak, he hit that mountaintop, and he was just like, I'm good now. I ain't got to worry about, you know, I ain't got to worry about all this. I'm set. You know, Donnie retired, but he retired as king. He retired as the undisputed champ. And obviously in boxing, once you retire as a champ, the belt there has to be a new champ. And there was a champ that was underneath Donnie's team who ended up getting the championship. But to see the drive of Damien and how Damien was so determined and focused to get what he thought was owed to him, what he said, you know, you kind of took from me because I was locked up. I mean, the movie was shot well. I will say I did not know, and I have to watch it again. I have to go watch it a second time. But apparently the fight scene was all special effects. Like, there wasn't a crowd there per se. And I gotta look into that, because that kind of threw me off a little bit. Definitely threw me off. But definitely enjoyed watching that. Definitely enjoyed the layers of the layers of this movie. So while I was watching the movie, I was sitting there taking little side notes, you know, because it was just stuff that I wanted to keep in mind for when I do this. I wanted to keep in mind these little tidbits of things that I want to discuss. So basically, if for those who haven't seen it yet, I'm gonna. This isn't a spoiler, you know, spoiler free, but I'm still gonna give you an overall synopsis of the movie. Basically, we all know Adonis set, but his past comes back in the form of Damien, and Damien appears, and Damien wants opportunity. He gets opportunity. Things go crazy. Things go left. I did think that someone was going to end up dying in the movie, but that didn't happen. I did think that. I thought that it was going to be, and I believe I said it in the first trailer reaction where I said I felt though as if this man killed somebody in the ring, which then caused Michael B. Jordan to avenge it. It will kind of be like Apollo, be Rocky IV. But that wasn't the case. I mean, yes, he fought after after Damien beat the champ, but there was reasons behind Adonis and him fighting. You know, he was calling Adonis out. A lot of back and forths. But one of the things that I noticed was, you know, Adonis running away from his past, and they were showing a lot of that in the movie. They were showing him the theme of it was like he was running away, like he was he did, and that's why Damien is locked up, because he ran away while Donnie ran while Damien was being arrested. That's what happened. And so when that happened, obviously, Damien did his time, got out. But it was one of those things where even when Damien was bringing up the stuff to B, his Michael B. Jordan's wife, Tessa Thompson, who them two together, phenomenal. Their chemistry in the world of cinema, like I feel though as if they are movie soulmates. Okay, I do. I think when you get these two in a movie together, chemistry is gonna be there. It's gonna be on point. It's gonna be phenomenal. But she was trying to figure out what was going on, like trying to get trying to get Michael B. Jordan, Donnie, Adonis to open up, and he refused to open up. It was kind of like a stigma that goes on in this world of, especially us as black men, being afraid to open up, you know. And the one thing that was consistent was he was always talking about avoiding the past. He didn't want to revisit the past. And eventually he had to revisit the past. Another thing that I realized is like Damien is his past, so he had to go and face his past. I mean, it goes to the story of friends making wrong choices. I mean, we are in the midst of, in the NBA, for those that are aware, Ja Morant. He's making a lot of careless, immature decisions, which I will talk about on a different video. But he's making a lot of careless decisions, and now it's costing him, you know, and potentially will cost him a lot. But it's those decisions right there. Damien made his decision, his choice. Go back to my favorite part of this whole entire movie was Adonis's relationship with his daughter, Amara. I absolutely loved it. As we know, if you did see Creed 2, Amara was born and she is deaf. You know, she has hearing impairment. And so the whole time, like as you're watching this movie, you're noticing that they are signed, like they communicate sign language. It's literally, it's so beautiful to see, because you're seeing that even though she can't verbally speak, her being able to sign, and you can see that love is still there, because regardless of conditions, that's still their child and they still love her unconditionally. So you see that, and you see Phylicia Rashad, her love for the granddaughter, and it was so beautiful to see. And then to see her wanting to fight like her dad, her wanting to fight like him, and him secretly teaching her some things. Like that shot in the trailer that I loved, that I talked about in the final trailer, where she's punching the punching bag. That little part right there, loved it, because she told him, I watched all your fights, so I know how you beat this guy. Like, she studied what he was doing, and it was just incredible to see that. I just warmed my heart to see them in that space. I mean, another thing that just killed me though was the death of, you know, his mom, you know, Phylicia Rashad dying, and that hit hard. Like, I mean, I'm thinking about Black Panther. I'm thinking about her going away, her passing away, and then I'm looking at this situation. I'm like, oh man, like, what more do we need in this space? Like, why are we dealing with these mothers, these iconic figures passing away? And it just hurt when she was like, when she was having that moment and she was looking at Adonis, but talking as if she was talking to Creed, Apollo. Oh, that tore me. Listen, y'all almost got me. Y'all almost got me to cry, but I did it. I did not break. I did not cry during this movie. Truth be told, even though like I'm an emotional person, I feel all this stuff, I did not cry when, you know, she went away. But I was very, very like, y'all almost got me. Y'all like this close to getting me. Another thing that a tidbit I brought up was the jealousy and the envy. You know, I know of people that have dealt with situations like this, where people end up being jealous of the success or the life that another person has made for themselves. And they get upset about it because they wish they had what that person had. You know, they wish that they were in a position that they are in. And you see that in this movie. I mean, there's a part in the movie where Damien gets home and he snaps, like he loses it. And it's like, yo, you see it. That's when I wrote the jealousy and the envy. You know, he sees the life that he has and he wants that, and he just couldn't get it. This also goes to a theme that I've had that I want to shout out my sister-in-law. She's my sister-in-law. Love you to death, Sierra. I remember when I was going through a situation, and she told me, as God elevates you up, not everybody can breathe the same oxygen as you, because God is putting you, he's elevating you to a point where only you can breathe in. Your lungs you're the only one that can take in that out, like that air, because he's expanding your lungs, and everybody can't go up with you. And this was a clear-cut sign of it, you know, where Michael B. Jordan was at his place, and he couldn't. He knew that he couldn't bring him along, so I definitely, out of 5, I give this about a solid 3.5 out of 5. The guy that I'm always talking about, Tyrone Magnus, he gave it a 7. I think he said a 7.5. No. He didn't do out of 10. He did I think he did the same thing. I think he did a 3.5 woos. So we're kind of in the same ballpark. I would say that Creed 2 is my favorite one. Speaking of Creed 2, Drago's son was in this movie. He had a significant role in there. Now, I won't say not a significant role, but he had a role in there. He played a part in there. It wasn't like he was just there. But the one thing that I do want to talk about, because me and my mom talked about it, was the Sylvester Stallone, Rocky. And she had told me, she was like, yeah, I heard that Rocky wasn't in the movie. And I said, yeah, he wasn't. She was like, I wonder why. And I said, I don't, I was like, well, I mean, Creed 2, he pretty much said he was done. Like, I remember there was that clip that he posted, I believe, on his Instagram where he made the announcement that, like, this is it. He's no longer doing Creed. He's giving the baton to Michael B. Jordan to go off and do it.
What I thought happened, it has happened, I never expected. I thought Rocky was over in 2006, and I was very happy with that. And then all of a sudden, this young man presented himself, and the whole story changed. It went on to a new generation, new problems, new adventures. And I couldn't be happier, because as I step back, as my story has been told, there's a whole new world that's going to be opening up for the audience, for this generation. And thank you very much, Stephen, and definitely you, Michael, for making that possible. Now you have to carry the mantle. There it is.
We love that.
But then I started to hear more. My brother, diehard Rocky fan, he's the one that kind of shed more light to me and said, yo, it's because one of the producers owns the rights to Rocky and is not willing to give Sylvester Stallone those rights. Like, Sylvester Stallone, I believe they said, sold it to him. He sold him the rights to Rocky for like $100 because he didn't have nothing. And the guy took it, and now you see the success of Rocky. You see, matter of fact, I see on TikTok now they're selling like Rocky apparel, like Rocky T-shirts, and off of the movies and all this stuff. And it's crazy that this man he created this franchise, and now he can't even take it and benefit off of it. He can't pass it on to his kids. I was watching a video, and he talked about that, and it really bothered me that it's like, yo, because he said he was like, I'll do Creed 4 just as long as he's not in there.
You brought up with Irwin Winkler and how he has the rights to Rocky, which is unfathomable to a lot of people.
It's unheard of. Never happened before.
It's crazy. I would literally be in therapy every day for the rest of my life.
Hard,
do you kind of like make peace at a certain point?
No,
or?
You can't make peace. I mean, let's be realistic here. You can't make peace when someone has been so nefarious, in my opinion, so like horrible, because everyone made out well. They did.
Yeah.
But it was all supposed to be neutral. No one had anything more than the other. It was all, but to get the rights, I've never heard of that in my life. Spielberg doesn't have the rights to Jaws. In other words, the studio owns it. How he got that, I don't know, which means I have to beg him that, can I do this? Can I do that? Oh, yeah, all your sons want to be producers? Sure, that's fine. And the thing is, I don't care about the money. I wanted to leave it to my children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wrote it. I thought it would be nice to say, here's a gesture, darling. Here.
Yeah.
Beautiful children, beautiful wife. When I'm long gone, this is you.
Right.
This is what I made for you.
This is part of my legacy
That's
that
all.
I...
And that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
So I can't forgive that.
Right. Do you have do you feel like can never watch Creed 3 kind of thing?
Never.
Yeah.
No. And not that, Michael B. Jordan, nice guy. The studio is wonderful. But it's just it's been such a real rough, emotional ride, that's all.
Yeah.
And it really has. Now, if Michael B. Jordan, we come up with a story, I'll do Creed 4 with him as long as the other fellow's not involved.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, damn, like that, like it was missing something, and that piece was Rocky. You know, it was Sly. I mean, I just would love to see him back in there. But I also know I was watching a few interviews with Michael B. Jordan, and he was saying how he wants to create Creed outside, like he wants to focus more on Creed, more on Adonis's life and Adonis's, trials or whatever the case may be. So I'm very interested to see what's next up. There was no post-credit trailer, but I am interested to see what is next for this movie. Like I said, 3 out of 5. I said I might go see it again just because I want to see if the fight scene, because the fight scene was different. I will say that. For those that may not know or probably won't go see this movie, I just want to say that there is a part in the movie, the fight scene. And during this fight scene, it's different. Because there's a certain part of it where it becomes more of a dream. You feel though as if you're watching them fight in a dream. That's the only thing that was different. It wasn't your typical Rocky Creed boxing match. It wasn't your typical one. So I gotta watch it again to see how I'll react to it. Because when I first seen it, I was like, I'm not sure about this one. But then I have to watch it again to see how I feel about it. They did show, and I might do a reaction to this. They did show the George Foreman movie that's coming out. Now, I didn't know they were doing a Foreman movie. That is something that I will be interested in watching because they're talking about Foreman, but then they're also bringing up how he died after a fight, and then after that he kind of just changed his lifestyle. He changed his ways, and that's when he became more Christian. And then how when that wasn't working for him, he had to come back. And he had to get back into the ring because he knew I have to do this. And I'm very interested to see that. So I'll be probably doing a reaction to that and then probably going to see that and then obviously be here. If not, obviously here, I wanted to do something different because y'all know the last few trailers I've done, reactions I've done in the midst of being in my house, but I wanted to switch it up a little bit. So that's that. So if you liked this right here, make sure that you hit that thumbs up, man. Really will appreciate that. And if you are new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And if you are subscribed, but you haven't been getting your notifications, make sure you hit that notification bell so you can be up to date of when these videos are dropping. You already know. It's your main man, Chi. I'm out. That was it. I got one more that I haven't talked about yet. And I just watched the movie for the first time last week. And we're going to talk about that. We're talking about Till. We are talking about Till. I'm out. Later.